Hi Mema, thanks for taking out some time for me and for this project. Actually, there are certain couple of questions which I would like to ask you. This is for my hobby project. So my first question is how mental stability basically affects the performance of an individual inside an organization.
Mental stability, actually mental stability in very basic terms totally defines an individual in his personal and professional life simply. So as a mental stability is required in your personal life, it is equally required in your professional life. If you are mentally stable, then you're able to work diligently, and your proficiency is much higher when you're mentally stable for whatever task you're doing. And at the same time, you become dedicated towards what you're working on. If you're mentally unstable, then you tend to sway from what you are doing. It could be from one project to the other, or it could be being, making yourself understand that no, I'm not being fully paid.
Sometimes even you
yeah,
feel demotivated if you're not.
yeah, you feel that you are not getting enough for what you are giving to the organization. That kind of unsatisfaction comes into it. So that unsatisfaction leads you to looking for more job opportunities, or trying to justify that okay, somebody else is getting more, and then you keep demotivating, and then your overall productivity decreases. So it's like you lose on yourself, and the organization loses at that step. So mental stability affects the person individually, and then organization as well.
Okay, my second question is, do you think that the growth opportunities are similar for both males and females? As in female, have you ever faced any problem in terms of your growth opportunity, or anywhere you have faced any problems?
Not really. I would not say specifically being in an organization, in an industry like IT industry. I personally don't see that this is a major concern. But of course, to some extent, it comes naturally from the management point of view. When you see your management is a male, he is always receptive to having males as leaders for any new projects. You will see that. And if females are made as the lead, then there is always a kind of hold they keep in there with themselves. They don't always give it away as you as the leader, because I don't know, somehow they feel that the girls will not be able to, and they need to overlook some, they need to overview whatever you are doing. But with males, they are able to absorb that, yeah, he will be able to do it. So it's like a little, yeah, there is a little gap which I will say that some females overcome by actually performing and proving results. But in other industries, of course, there's a lot of difference if you compare it to industries like where it is mechanical or civil work. There's a huge difference. People don't accept females, and it's very evident. But in IT industry, I think it's far less.
Okay, so have you ever faced this kind of problem being in an organization like SAP, which is more or less we have certain rules, certain guidelines which are more female oriented. We have so many policies which really help females actually to work better in this organization. Have you faced any problem here, or what are the advantages which you see being a part of SAP as a female?
Personally, that's what I was saying, that I do not feel this issue here. At least in our organization, SAP, I do not see this issue in my team. In my growth career, I have not faced myself being a female as the point of not getting any particular opportunity. That was never the case. So I think there are I don't know if this is driven by the organization, or if it is just the management, how they overlook their team. That makes it.
It's only thing. It's basically inside the genre of an organization, how they basically look up to their employees, and what kind of policies they make according to the genders, right?
Right. So I think that is the case.
Right. Okay. My third question would be, what does an effective team means to you? I mean, in terms of productivity, and do you think that team size can affect the productivity of a complete team? If yes, how?
Yes, the team size makes a lot of difference in the productivity of the team, and the team size, optimum team size is the requirement. I will explain you how, especially like in my team, like looking at the team workload that we have. We have suppose X team members in the team, but workload is X plus say 100. So at this stage, if the team is made to work for that, then you will tend to, the management can show very high results to their higher management, saying that okay, come on, we achieved much more out of less people. But over the period, this is only when you see for a year, but over a period, productivity of every individual in terms of either value or in numbers decreases. So this is what I have observed in my own team, that over a period, if we have not decreased in numbers, we have decreased in value, because you can achieve only one thing, either numbers or value.
And
So,
in fact, it is quite demotivating also if you have a lot of work and you don't find time for yourself, being an individual,
Right.
even inside an organization. Then it's kind of demotivating, and that's what results in the bad quality or lower quality of the work,
yeah.
right?
So productivity will come down eventually if the team size and the workload is not equally managed. In the productivity either comes down if your team size is much more than the workload, then in terms of number it will come down. But if the team size is smaller against the workload, then it will come down in terms of value.
Right.
So this has to be really managed by the management. There is no fixed numbers that we can say that a team size of 10 is always good or a team size of 100 is always good.
Okay. And my last question would be, what qualities do you see in your leader or in your manager?
Okay, see, let's accept the fact managers are managers because they have to get the work done, what is told to them by their higher management from their team. That's simple. Especially in our organization, I will say that managers do not have a decision-making role. They are more of a, they send out the information from their higher management and they have to get that thing done from us. This is simply the rule. They are not decision makers. So in that kind of a situation, it is a quality, it is a necessary quality that they should have is convincing. They should be able to convince. And I, as an employee, will always want to be convinced of doing whatever I'm doing, even if I'm made to do double my work. But if I'm mentally convinced before I'm made to do that double work, I think I will do it.
Right.
You will also realize that sometimes you go beyond your 8 hours, you go beyond your 16 hours of a day. But because you're mentally convinced to do that, you do it, and you're happy after doing that.
Correct.
So that is what a manager should have as a quality. And yes, my manager has that quality. And sometimes if I have, suppose in a meeting he says something, we are not convinced about it. And if I go in one-on-one, that's the very good part. And he's always open for one-to-one.
So basically, there's a good communication
Yes,
channel which has been
communication,
established.
yes. The communication channel never comes down to what we are saying as an employee. He will never, in simple words, he will never agree to what we are saying. But he will make sure that he convinces me to what he is trying to make us do. So it's still, mentally he makes me satisfied.
Right.
So again, we'll come down to the first point that if I'm mentally satisfied, then I will give a good productivity. So he is able to achieve that thing out of me, that out of every employee in the team, rather, that we are mentally satisfied doing whatever we are made to do.
Right. So apart from convincing part, what other qualities do you see in a leader or a manager?
In a manager, I'll say that this is what from other managers I'll say, people management is a very different topic, and sometimes what happens in organizations that when we have promotions, then certainly some people who are technically sound also are made to grow just because they have been doing exceptionally good. They have grown and made as managers. They are not fit for that role. It's not that because they lack, it's because they excel in a different field. Right? So when they are brought into a role like manager role, people should understand that they have that people management role, a quality in them. And some people totally lack that. So
you mean to say technical capabilities doesn't guarantees you the
yes,
being a manager, right?
yeah, it doesn't guarantee, rather it takes you in a wrong direction.